to the Interior. Deb.
Thank you so much. Really happy to be here and appreciate the opportunity to join. I appreciate you hosting this year's task force meeting, Secretary Blinken, to highlight this administration's work to combat human trafficking, and most importantly, to help elevate the voices of survivors. I'm excited to find new pathways to get the critical resources that survivors need most. This administration has made public safety a top priority across all sectors, including human trafficking. I'm particularly pleased with the focus on the missing and murdered Indigenous peoples crisis, where there has been a historical lack of resources and attention, and where human trafficking is prevalent. As stated in the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights Broken Promises report, Native Americans suffer from one of the nation's highest rates of crime and victimization, in large part due to the structural and jurisdictional barriers that criminal justice systems face in Indian country. This is why, as one of my first actions, I launched the Missing and Murdered Unit in the Bureau of Indian Affairs. This unit is focused on marshaling federal law enforcement resources to resolve cases of missing and murdered American Indians and Alaska Natives by working directly with tribes and the Justice Department to enhance data and evidence collection. At Interior, we have also prioritized implementation of the Not Invisible Act. This is an issue close to my heart. I know what it's like to worry if my sister's friends and relatives would go missing without a trace. I was a champion for this legislation in Congress and now have the honor of implementing this law with the help of Attorney General Garland as we establish the Not Invisible Act Commission. This commission will bolster intergovernmental coordination to identify and combat violent crime against Native Americans by establishing an advisory committee composed of law enforcement, tribal leaders, federal partners, service providers, and most importantly, survivors. The Not Invisible Act Commission will develop final recommendations and best practices for this administration to improve federal coordination, help resolve jurisdictional complexities, and find lasting solutions to missing persons and human trafficking cases that disproportionately impact Indigenous people. With the support of the entire Biden-Harris administration, we can address this crisis. We don't just need resources, we need federal leadership across all agencies to elevate a crisis response to help locate missing and murdered and Indigenous peoples who have been trafficked. We also need to prioritize victim resources for all communities, because if we're serious about ending cycles of abuse, we must invest in tools that prevent survivors from being victimized again. I'm proud to serve in this administration and on this task force. Thank you all for your commitment to center the voices of those who have been left behind. We must ensure that we do everything we can to address human trafficking and bring women and children home, regardless of their age, race, or economic background. Thank you so much again, Secretary Blinken.
Secretary Haaland, thank you, and thank you for the special focus that you're bringing so effectively to Native Americans. Now over to the Department of Agriculture. Secretary Vilsack. Tom.